You've got Jedis, droids, bounty hunters, Gungans. Okay, maybe not Gungans. The Star Wars universe is jam-packed with a range of characters that we all both love and hate. Today, we're giving you the top 10 characters in Star Wars mythology, so get ready to guess which of your favorites have made the list. Make sure you stay until the end for the unveiling of the top-rated character in the franchise. Number 10. A character who didn't have all that much screen time in the original trilogy, but went on to be loved by fans anyway, even spawning an origin story in the prequels and earning himself a Disney Plus series. It's of course our favorite bounty hunter, Boba Fett. Robbed of his father Jango from a young age, Fett grew up in the world of bounty hunting and villainous characters, becoming one of them himself. He went on to work for Jabba the Hutt, even aligning with Darth Vader at one point. Though Boba does have a sense of honor, he cannot be trusted and will do what must be done to get what he needs. The outfit, the weapons, and gadgets, this guy is pretty kick-ass. Number 9. A wise and powerful Jedi with maybe too much belief in a certain young boy. This is none other than Qui-Gon Jinn. Introduced in The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon is shown as the Jedi Master and friend of Obi-Wan Kenobi, teaching him in the ways of the Force and helping to mold him into a powerful Jedi Knight. Though this Jedi was wise and calm, he was also known for being quite stubborn in his ways of thinking, which ended up holding him back and becoming a member of the Jedi Council. An example of this is believing very deeply that a young Anakin Skywalker is the so-called Chosen One, who will destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force. The character unfortunately met his end at the hands of Darth Maul, but beforehand gave us one of the best lightsaber fights to grace the galaxy. Number 8. It's the stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder himself. It's the captain of the Millennium Falcon, Mr. Han Solo. Introduced as a selfish and money-hungry smuggler who is in Jabba the Hutt's employment, his adventure with Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia on the Death Star give him a bit of a change of heart. He goes on to join the Rebel Alliance, but thankfully he doesn't change too much and remains a lovable rogue as time goes on. He's always ready for action and is one hell of a pilot when you get him in the Falcon. Plus, we can't help but love his bromance with co-pilot and best pal Chewbacca. Oh, and by the by, Han shot first. Just saying. Number 7. The master manipulator of the galaxy and overarching villain of the entire Skywalker saga. We give you Emperor Sheev Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. Since the beginning of the Star Wars story, chronologically, Palpatine had his claws in the sides of both good and evil. Being a senator and eventually supreme chancellor on one side, whilst being a Lord of the Sith on the other. He pulled the strings for years, even causing the beginning of the Clone Wars, all without leaving a trace. Eventually, seeing his endgame come to fruition and reign as emperor for decades, he eventually met his match, twice. With a truly terrifying presence of unparalleled planning techniques, this Sith Lord was not to be dealt with lightly. Number 6. The young man from the Moisture Farm who went on to become a powerful Jedi, it's Luke Skywalker next on the list. Luke lived a moderately boring life on the desert planet of Tatooine before he was whisked off on an adventure by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who revealed his true heritage and told him about his father. From a certain point of view, Luke went on to be responsible for destroying the Death Star and even trained to become a Jedi Knight like his father, who is revealed to be none other than, spoiler alert, Darth Vader. No matter how many pitfalls and how much pain Luke endured through his life, right until the end, he stayed true to himself and always did what he believed was best for everyone. He literally dragged the religion of Jedi back from the dead after decades of being extinct, and even went on to sacrifice himself in order to save the Resistance in The Last Jedi. He is one of the true heroes of the Star Wars universe. Number 5. The young Jedi with a bit too much of an attitude and definitely some parent issues. It's the leader of the Knights of Ren, Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren. Son of Leia and Han, Ben grows up being trained in the ways of the Force by his uncle Luke. This leads to a bit of a misunderstanding that pushes him to the dark side, under the influence of the Supreme Leader Snoke, and he becomes known as Kylo Ren. Throughout the sequel trilogy, Ren gets the most interesting story of them all, as he is constantly at war with himself over which side he should be taking. Though he wants to be part of the First Order and pretty much wills himself to be evil, his heart is with his family, and eventually he sees the error of his ways before sacrificing himself to save fellow Jedi Rey. One thing Star Wars loves is a redemption story. Number 4. The most badass princess in the history of any galaxy, who else could it be but Princess Leia Organa? Though her heritage lies with the Skywalker family, Leia is brought up as a princess of Alderaan and learns to have her own way of doing things, which we see in a lot of detail during the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, from fighting her way off the Death Star in her late teens to literally flying herself through space in her later years. Leia was royalty that didn't care for the pompousness of her title, and preferred to be in on the action and getting the job done by any means necessary. Star Wars helped to give an amazing role model for girls everywhere. Number 3. Seen this one coming, you must have. It's Master Yoda. This small, elderly green being is the ultimate example of don't judge a book by its cover. The head of the Jedi Council and having trained Jedi for over 800 years, Yoda knows of the Force more than anyone, even after the fall of the Jedi and being in hiding on Dagobah for 2 decades. Yoda still goes on to train Luke Skywalker and guide him to unblocking his potential. Though he may not see much, and can have his silly moments here and there, he is a formidable and powerful Force user who just gushes wisdom with every character he speaks to. Plus, he's a dab hand with a lightsaber, to say the least. Number 2. Hello there, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, just missing the top spot is the Jedi who leaves his mark on each trilogy in the Skywalker saga. Upon the death of his master Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan instructs Anakin Skywalker in the ways of the Force. Unfortunately, his apprentice eventually falls to the dark side as Darth Vader and leaves Obi-Wan in a state of guilt. However, in time, and after encountering Vader once again whilst going on an adventure with his daughter Leia, the Jedi Master grows to become wise and as courageous as ever. He goes on to be a big influence on both Luke Skywalker and his sister Leia, with the latter even naming her son after him. Without Obi-Wan, we actually wouldn't have some of our best characters. At number 1, it's the young boy who dreamed of becoming a Jedi and freeing slaves, but in time became a feared Sith Lord who would kill anyone that stands in his way. Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. Taken from Tatooine at a young age and trained to be a Jedi, Anakin always knew how powerful he was and let his own ego get in his way. With Obi-Wan holding him back, his Jedi religion restraining him from openly being with the woman he loves, and even the Jedi Council not giving him the rank of Master, he is manipulated by Chancellor Palpatine into becoming Darth Vader. His turn to the dark side is at first out of desperation to save Padme Amidala, but after an epic fight with his former master, being left for dead, and then finding out Padme has passed away, the Chosen One fully embraces his darkness, with the help of an iconic black suit and breathing apparatus. Though thankfully, after years of anger and suffering, he's eventually shown the error of his ways by his son Luke. Anakin then does end up fulfilling his destiny as the Chosen One by killing Palpatine himself, or so it seems, sacrificing himself in the process. As mentioned earlier, Star Wars loves a redemption story. Anakin's story is one of sadness, misfortune, and overall heartbreak, but gives us one of the most ferocious characters in the whole of pop culture. For quick reference, just watch the corridor scene in Rogue One. Did any of your favorites make it onto the list? Are there any you think deserved a spot? Let us know in the comment section below. On second thought, maybe Jar Jar should have been put in there, right?